This is Justice for All with Judge Christina Perez. Rebecca Marshall is suing market owner Paul Hernandez in the amount of $350. She claims her daughter was hurt by bones in a fish sold to her by the defendant. Mr. Hernandez claims the plaintiff's daughter should have been more careful.
All rise. Court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Christina Perez presiding. Please be seated. All parties have been sworn in, Your Honor.
Thank you, Renard. Ms. Marshall, I understand you are suing Mr. Hernandez, who is the local owner of your fish store, right?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm here today because I love cooking trout. I mean, that's what my family eats almost like 5 times a month. I pride myself on how I cook and prepare my food for my family. I wanted to make sure that we had the freshest trout. Everyone in town has been talking about Mr. Hernandez's fish market. Every time that I went to go to the fish market, he was out of fish. Mm-hmm. How can you be out of fish if you're a fish marketer? I don't understand that.
Either he's so busy everybody buys the fish from him, restaurants, homes, et cetera, et cetera. 99%, as you say, of the fish you sell is fresh. So do you get it from local fishermen, local companies? How do you get your fresh fish?
Oh, well, actually, yeah, I do. I contract out to a local company that comes and delivers it every morning at 5 a.m. and it's ready to be on display by 6 in the morning.
Oh, great. Okay, perfect, yes. Let's get back to Mrs. Marshall's claim. So then what happened?
Yeah.
You have never purchased fish at Mr. Hernandez's shop before?
No.
Where do you usually buy your fish?
Usually I go to the supermarket. Or
okay, do you buy fresh or frozen?
I always buy fresh.
Okay.
Always buy fresh. I know how to prepare it. I prepared it, like I said, at least 5 times a month.
And you tell me, have you ever eaten fish that has bone spines in them?
Bone spines? No.
Never?
No,
never in your life?
No.
In your 30-plus years of your life, you've never had a piece of fish with tiny little bones?
Tiny little bones, yes,
or
but not
pieces
spines.
of bone? Nothing?
Just maybe tiny little bones, of course. There's tiny little bones, but not enough to choke on. And that's what happened to my daughter.
Okay.
We sit down every Friday, we watch a movie, and we have dinner in a movie. We get into the movie, everybody's excited about our meal, excited about the movie, and I look over and my daughter is choking. Choking.
Because of your
my
negligence.
daughter is choking on a fish bone.
Because you're negligent.
So
because of my negligence, I cook fish.
Okay, and when you yourself prepare the fish,
yes,
don't you notice it may still have some bones in there?
I realize that fish may have tiny bones in it, but not bones to choke on.
So, what was the size of the bone? Was it the full spine? Was it the full skeleton?
It was a piece, probably about this size.
Oh, that's
and yes, and
Very
it was
exciting.
big enough for the doctor to say that maybe you should buy boneless fish. And I explained to him.
Do you have a letter from your doctor?
I don't have a letter, but I do have the bill.
Okay, I'll see your bill. Okay. And what was your 6-year-old doing? She was watching television.
She was
you guys
watching
weren't
the movie
sitting
just
at the,
as we do every Friday.
But you guys weren't sitting at the dinner table having dinner?
No, we were
what
sitting
kind
in
of
front
movie
of the TV.
was it?
I'm sorry?
What kind of movie was it?
It was, I can't remember the movie right now, but...
was it action? Was it a fun movie? Was it a kid's movie?
It was
a
probably
comedy?
a kid's movie because it was family time.
So was
and
she
yes,
moving
I was paying
around?
attention.
Was she moving around? Was
No,
she laughing?
No, we were sitting in front of the table just as we do every Friday.
Was she playing with toys?
No,
nothing.
We were all
she was
eating
just
dinner.
a perfect little angel.
Yes, she was.
Okay.
Yes,
all right.
she is.
So then you took her to the hospital.
I did.
And the hospital charged you $350.
Yes, to remove the bone.
And then to remove the bone. So I don't understand. Did you call 911? Was she choking? I mean, how can she have the bone in her throat all the way to the hospital? Explain this to me.
I let the experts handle that. All I know is that my child was choking on a bone.
Did you try giving her water or anything to
I
put her
called the
down?
doctor. I called the emergency as soon as possible.
Okay, and they came to your house?
Right away.
Do you have evidence of that?
No, I do not. Not
Okay.
with me.
So
no.
then you called Mr. Hernandez, and Mr. Hernandez
She
said...
didn't call. She went into my store and made
Yes.
the biggest of scenes imaginable.
say? What did
Like
she
she
say?
made it seem like it was a shark bone, like this big, that she had choked on. That's what she
Every
said.
time I go there, he
Can
always
I-
has an attitude, just as he is right
No.
now.
Well, I thought you've
And he's
only
always-
been once.
No,
This is the
I
first-
told you. Every time I go down there, I've asked
Your
for
Honor,
fresh fish,
Your
and he
Honor,
doesn't
may
have
I-
it.
May I?
But I thought you just said this was the first time because you've heard his
It's the
shop
first
is good.
time that I purchased fish.
Your Honor, the thing is, she's come to
So
my
you've
store.
gone there before to
I
buy
have
fish?
gone there before. Yes, I have.
And you've never purchased before?
No, because he's always out of fish.
Really?
He's always out of trout.
Okay,
can you be a
so
fish
explain
market
that.
out of
Explain
trout?
that to
Can I
me. How
finally
can
talk?
she have always come to your shop and you have no fish? How can that be?
Well, it's all in the timing. You know, people come to get their fresh fish, you know, at the latest 9 in the morning. When you come the day before...
My fish store has fish all day.
Yeah, when you come at, you know, the day before Thanksgiving, the day before Christmas, the
Not
day before New
necessarily.
Year's.
My fish store has fish all day, and it's fresh fish.
The point
Yes,
is...
and it's
And during the
January
holidays,
31st,
they have more.
no
The
holidays.
The point is, you know, she still comes at a time where, you know, there's a high demand for fish, there's a high demand for
Okay.
food and everything.
Okay, so that's a different issue. So what happened when she approached you?
Well, she didn't approach me anything. She just started yelling outside the store, "Don't buy fish!" All this. She made the biggest scene ever. You know, they
Because
have
my
bones.
child was choking
Because
on a
you were
fish bone.
negligent.
Coming up on Justice for All.
The inherent risk in eating a piece of fish is what? Is what?
Later,
I just didn't realize that being a friend that you would be responsible for it. If she had come to me in a
You know what?
nice...
She actually was a really good friend because she's exactly the person you're claiming she's not.
you're watching Justice for All with Judge Cristina Perez. We're back with the case of Rebecca Marshall, who is suing Paul Hernandez to recoup her daughter's medical bills.
Why was she negligent?
Because everybody knows you always double check the fish, no matter what it is, no matter how it's advertised. Jesus himself could give you the fish. You still have to check it. I tell my wife.
Let's not involve him in this, okay?
Well, okay.
Please. But let's put him aside.
The point is-
So why was she negligent? When you sell, do you debone the fish?
Yeah, it's a family business. We do
Okay,
it
so is it
together.
the whole fish or is it a fillet? Explain to me how you prepare this trout for selling, because either you sell the whole fish and it's deboned, or you just fillet it. What do you do?
We fillet it, you know, that's one of the things. And if
So
they
then
wanna,
it's off the bone,
Yeah, if
okay.
it's off the bone, it's supposed to be like that.
What else, Mrs. Marshall? What else do you want to tell me to support your claim?
I just want to have him take care of this bill, because I don't think that it's fair that he advertises boneless fish and then an innocent child is choking on the fish. Her face
Do you
turned
have
blue.
a copy of the advertisement?
A copy? No, I don't, but it's advertised clearly in his store.
Okay, do you have a copy of anything that you advertise about?
No, I don't. Like I
boneless?
said, most of my business comes for word of mouth. So,
Okay.
you know, my clients could have said, "Oh, it was boneless," and you know, I don't know exactly. I'm not responsible for what they say. All I know is that people come into my store, and I try to give them
But
the
you
best.
said you
I'm
you
trying to talk.
debone the
Okay?
fish, don't you?
I do
That's what you
deboning,
said.
yeah. And then I also
Your fault.
I also have a child, and I
Pay
take
the
CPR
bill.
classes. And what happened to you?
Pay the
Where's your
bill.
CPR class? You know, you have to call a paramedic to
I'm
go and
sorry.
See,
do a
this
simple
is
CPR thing?
this is the problem. Anybody who makes fish, anybody who eats fish, any human being in the world understands the inherent risk in eating a piece of fish is what? Is what? A, it may smell fishy, and B, it might have some bones in it. Always. I mean, that's part of eating fish. And technically, you can choke
But
on
he advertised
anything.
that it was boneless.
Well, that's the problem. If you advertise, people do anything in advertising, but you have to use your logical sense. You cannot
Don't advertise
completely
that it's
debone a
boneless then.
fish. You didn't bring me that advertisement. And he says that no fish can
But
be
he
completely
said that
deboned.
he does have it
Okay,
advertised as
see,
boneless.
that's the problem in today's society. We love to point the finger at somebody else for their responsibility. We are not willing to see and figure out how maybe we made a mistake, how we could have taken responsibility for the situation. It's always saying somebody else did the problem. Somebody else did this. It was his fault, his fault, his fault. And you are giving me a very holy argument without a lot of weight of evidence to tell me that she actually choked, because there's a lot of holes missing. You are lucky that I actually even entertained and listened to your case, because I was about to throw this out. So based on the evidence, I will deny the plaintiff's claim and rule in favor of the defendant.
All rise.
Judge Perez has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
My daughter choked on a fish bone from your store, and I'm going to tell everyone about it.
Watching over her is your responsibility, not mine.
And later,
She started throwing up in my car.